Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariame McIntosh Robinson, President and CEO of First Global Bank, and welcome to our first virtual town hall. So we've been going through a fairly unique and difficult, challenging period as a country and as a world. And it's very clear to us at First Global that as a bank and within our sector, we have to do our part to continue to have dialogue and break down myths and ensure that we're continuing to support and partner with our customers and the wider public. COVID-19 is one of the most difficult crises we've faced in this century so far, but we're resilient people at First Global and within Jamaica. And so we are happy to be here today with some of our executive teams to just share with you how we are continuing to partner with you, and more importantly, to get your questions and to understand what your needs are. I want to thank everybody for registering today. We had over about 400 persons registering. Most of you had questions, so we're going to try and get to most of the pressing questions today. And if we don't, we will share with you how we plan to close out the ones that we don't get to. All right. I hope all of you are social distancing. This is my mask. We will not be wearing it today. We'll be observing the protocols of being apart. But I want to encourage everyone to continue to follow the protocols as we navigate this current situation in the world. Okay, so I'm joined with some persons from our executive team. We're very happy to be here today. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves, starting with our Vice President of e-Payments, Ricardo Ebanks. I may have just introduced him. Sorry. Go ahead, Ricardo.
Thank you. So good afternoon. My name is Ricardo Ebanks. My role at First Global is Vice President of e-Payments, and in my team, we focus on helping businesses digitize to meet the needs of this new century.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Arlene Williams. I'm the Vice President of Personal and Business Banking. I have direct oversight of branches, satellites, and agencies. We currently have 8 branches island-wide. We have 4 which are located in Kingston, at Duke Street, Manor Park, Ligony, and New Kingston. We have 5 satellites, 4 other branches that are located in Portmore. We have 1 in Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, and Mandeville. We have 5 satellites locations, which are Maypen, Crossroads, Duke Crossroads, Santa Cruz, and Linstead. We have 11 agencies island-wide. Thank you.
I'm Vinette Notice, Assistant Vice President for Credit Risk Management. I'm responsible for loan applications, adjudication. And so when you want to hear anything about your loans and how it's going, just check on Vinette.
Well, thank you very much, Vinette. Thanks, everyone. Okay, so welcome again. We're going to jump right into it because we are going to stick to the time frame. Thank you for joining us today, and we appreciate your time. One of the key themes we saw coming through in the questions was really around what are the relief measures that First Global Bank is doing to support customers, and how can we continue to support you even as we get through this current phase of the crisis? So I'm going to read the questions directly to ensure that we are listening to you. The first question, is there anything in place for persons who are currently unemployed due to the pandemic in regards to monthly loan or credit card payments? Is there any provision made for these persons? And I'm going to invite Vinette to respond.
Thank you, Mariam. Yes, we do have plans and relief measures in place for customers who are affected by the COVID pandemic. We may have customers who they are unemployed for a short period or permanently unemployed because of the impact on their company and their employer. And with that said, we have been offering payment relief in the form of payment holiday, where the customer is given a period where they make no payment. I must point out, however, that the interest requirement will continue to accrue on that loan, and that payment will fall in at the back end of the loan. At a point when that customer income has resumed, they have returned to some amount of normalcy. We also have the option where they can pay interest and get relief on the principal. And that just is an opportunity to match their loan obligation to their income, or if there is none. and we give them time to recover, to recoup, and we continue in that conversation with the customer so that when their repayment, when their income is returning to some amount of normalcy or some amount is returned, we can resume regular repayment. So yes, we do have an effective system in place for that.
Thank you, Vinette. I want to stay on this point because it's a big one. Because we have, people have shared feedback with us on social media across the sector where they say they would have gotten a relief, right? So in the period they get a relief, and then when the payments resume, it's higher than before. Can you explain what's going on there?
Yes. And the truth is we extend the facility for the payment relief period that we give, but because that interest continue to accrue, that interest comes into the back end and the client is required to repay that. What we can continue to do with our client, and it's something that we could explore as a team, is to extend that facility for probably a longer period to allow their monthly payment to remain the same. But we have to have the conversation, you have to talk with us, and so we can see how we can address your specific need.
Good, thank you, Vinette. So essentially, your interest, you may not pay during the relief period, but it's rolled into the amount. It's still owed at some point to the institution, and then it's rolled into the amount, the principal amount, and then the new interest is calculated. So the purpose of payment relief is really to match your cash flows. If your cash flows are going down because of the pandemic, we're willing to create a relief period, but then when you start to regularize again, we've now turned that interest into a new, increase the loan amount by that amount. That's a big point, because a lot of people shared a lot of feedback on social media on that point. Thank you very much, Vinette. Let's turn to our SMEs. I know someone had a question around SMEs. What special unsecured financing opportunities are available to assist small businesses to stay afloat during these tough economic times? What are the interest rates, the terms, and the average time it takes to process the loan? I'm going to ask Arlene if you could take us through that.
Right. So, Mariam, due to the COVID pandemic, we saw where customers were really requesting working capital support for their businesses. So we do have an unsecured facility that values up to $15 million. Our customers can avail of this loan, and it is for 5 years. The maximum tenure on it is 5 years.
Okay.
Right? What we do, we ensure that we also have partnership with DBJ for their CEF guarantees. So in case the customer wants much more than that, they can avail of the guarantee with at least 80% of it being secured by DBJ CEF funds.
Okay, thanks very much, Arlene. For just staying on the SME point, I get this question ever so often over the years, and it's one I also sometimes ask myself. So Ricardo, this question is actually for you. Why is it so hard for local entrepreneurs to set up their business to receive online payments through PayPal, among other e-payment systems, which would enable them to wire to their local bank account in Jamaica? When I contacted PayPal, they stated it's an issue with the Jamaican banking system.
Yes. All right, great point. Thanks, Mariam.
Yep.
So we have seen this issue. Lots of merchants set up an account with a platform online, and PayPal is the only option that's available for settlement. What we would encourage you to do, first of all, is have a talk with your bank, talk with us. We can show you alternate ways to set up that payment online. So instead of using that platform, we can help you to use some other platform locally generated and use our payment gateway that will have that payment go straight into your bank account here in Jamaica.
Excellent point. Okay, we may come back to that, because I know people are like, what did you just say? I want more. But just in terms of staying on the theme around the pandemic and supporting various stakeholders, financial inclusion and just inclusive growth is very near and dear to our hearts at FGB and in the broader Grace Kennedy group. And so there are a couple questions that have come from different stakeholders, and I want to just make sure we get those questions out. So for the first question I have, what plans do you have to assist seniors, especially females whose positions have been made redundant for their place of work? Hopefully males and females have been made redundant, but so who would like to answer that question?
I will go with that, Arlene, and you can assist. The truth is, as long as there is impairment or there is impact on income, whether gender, irrespective of gender, there is a plan at FGB for you. And so the important thing is for you to come in or call us, social distancing, reach out to us, email us, and we will have that conversation with you. But it's important that we understand that the impact that is on your cash flow, on your revenue, on your income, on your salary, and then we align that to your loan obligations with FGB. If there are other loan obligations outside of FGB, we have to take that into account. But the important thing is to match your repayment to whatever your new income is.
Very good. So one of the things, thank you, Vinette, one of the things that you will be hearing one of the things that you'll be hearing throughout this session is really around just keep in touch. Keep in touch with your bank. If it's FGB, which we hope it is, keep in touch with us, because even when there isn't a pandemic, I always say to persons, if you're SME or corporate, you should be calling your banker once a month just to check in. So when there's a need, it's so much easier for them to get your request through the organization because they already are keeping up on what's going on. And similar, if you're individual, you are not too small enough to be able to call your banker and the banker responds and just wants to build a relationship with you. And so to get in touch with us, we'll be sharing this throughout the session, but it's fgb@gkco.com. That's the best way to get in touch with us, or 1-888 FGB. Okay, so just staying on, again, making sure we get everybody's questions in. Someone has asked, I am interested in repositioning myself so as to be in a better financial position. Would you be willing to offer consolidation and refinancing at this time? Vinette?
Yes, we do. And in fact, we would want to start with the where you understand your financial goals, where you want to go, how COVID has affected that. And yes, we provide that opportunity because consolidation will in fact help you with your monthly payment. And might I add, Mariam, during this pandemic, we are prepared to do that consolidation with a payment relief on it.
Gosh, it's fun playing the moderator. I don't have to. I'm like, we are doing that? That's great. Okay, so let me ask another question that's coming up from the wider public. Can tourism workers access payment relief? Let's talk about our tourism workers in this country.
Right. So, Mariam, we have been offering payment relief to all our tourism workers. What we have seen is that they have been, even though they are still employed on and off on the job, their pays have been reduced and so on. So what we have done is we have offered up to 3 months payment holidays, and we're giving even an extension for another 3 months, making it 6 months. However, we want them to constantly keep in touch with us to ensure that we understand what is taking place and make the necessary arrangements for them to be, as best as possible, come out of this in a better way.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks very much, Arlene. Again, the theme of keeping in touch with us. And by the way, we have all the names and numbers for these questions. So if we don't get to you in this session, we will be calling you. So every question is at least addressed to the person that's asked the question or posed the question. This one is a fun one. I know the First Global Bank family, which, by the way, we're here representing the First Global Bank team, but I know that they will appreciate this question. Why is there no FGB ATM machine in Mandeville?
Wow.
Ricardo?
Yes. So that's something that the team is working on. And we're happy to say that plans are well advanced, and we intend to have an ABM in Mandeville before the end of this year. And let me also add to that we're also working on doing the same in Mobay.
Yes, Montego Bay. I saw some questions coming in from persons in Mobay or Western Jamaica, and they made it very clear we need to make sure we're not ignoring Western Jamaica. We are not. So thank you for sending the questions, and we will have an ABM in Montego Bay as well, which I saw as a question that was also raised. Okay, let's talk about online and digital, because with COVID, and I want to stay on this whole COVID, how we're working through it, there's just a lot more move to being, remote access to services. As an extrovert, this is very difficult for me, but I do appreciate that we all need to pivot in life. That's how we sustain ourselves as we go through this life here on Earth. So the question we have here from a customer is, what is being done to improve the user experience and interface on the FGB Global Access portal?
Wow.
Ricardo, you want to take that one?
Thanks, Mariam. So we have recognized that there are some improvements that are needed on the platform. It's a very feature-rich platform. You can do lots of transfers, lots of payments on it right now, but it's not the freshest look. So there is a team that's working on an upgrade right now, and we're well advanced. We're actually in a pilot with it, and we expect that in short order, we'll be saying to our customers, come and give it a try. So we invite you to follow us on social media. Pay attention to your email. We will be updating you as we progress with that upgrade to let you know exactly when it will become available to you.
Okay, that sounds good. So upgrade coming, should be a better experience.
Yes, definitely.
Better interface. But I hear it's kind of good so far, but I take the point, it needs to be a little bit better. What are some of the things that you say stand out? What have customers been telling us that they love about what they can do with our current platform, which we are upgrading, so it's a better look and feel, etc.?
Yes. So persons love the fact that from the platform, they can do payments to any bank in Jamaica. They could do payments to someone else here in someone else at FGB.
Yes.
Or if they would like to get a check, they could request it online and pick it up in a branch, right? So that's a nice, convenient facility.
What about overseas?
Yes, so you can also, from that platform, send payments to any country in the world, to any bank account, once you have the SWIFT details for that bank account.
And limits? I hear that some of us in the industry, we have these limits. Again, it's great being a moderator.
Yes.
I'm not really in the industry. I'm moderating right now. They have limits, Ricardo?
Yes, there are some limits, and that's necessary to help protect your account.
Yes.
But we do have strong security with a token mechanism, which can be a physical token or an app on your phone. And once you're using that token, you're actually able to transact quite large amounts.
Right, and I hear we have some really high limits.
Yes, we do.
I put it back on my FGB hat.
Yes, we do.
We have some really high limits
actually are
to facilitate customer
Yes.
business
Yes.
with our strong controls. Okay, sounds good. I would love to talk about account opening.
Yes.
You know, again, and I must say, we're not the only ones in the sector looking at this, and I really have to applaud the sector, you know, just trying to pivot to the needs given the changing environment. So, you know, I don't want to have to come into the branch to open an account. So we have a couple questions here. This one is very direct. Are there any plans afoot for online account opening, therefore reducing the need for the customer to come into the bank to complete that process?
Okay, so let me take a shot at this one, Mariame. So firstly, I'm one of the persons using our new platform, and I have actually opened an account on the new platform from home, right?
Okay.
So that works for me because I'm an existing customer of the bank, and that's one of the features that we'll be making available to all existing customers. So you can open an additional account. If this is your first relationship with us, we have an ability for you to start that process online, put in the information, upload your documents, set an appointment with the branch.
Right.
And what the team actually does is they make the calls ahead, check the references, all of those things are done ahead so that when you come in the branch, it is a much easier process.
So when you come into the branch, having done that, how much time do you spend?
Arlene?
Arlene, would you just, what are our customers telling you, head of retail banking?
When they're coming in the branch, they want to spend as limited amount of time possible. So what we have done is implemented several measures to ensure that the maximum time they will spend is 25 minutes in a branch. Whenever they do what Ricardo just explained, they should spend at least 10 minutes, because what they're coming in to do is just sign and collect their debit cards.
Okay.
Right. We do also have drop boxes for customers that are coming in and cannot wait for their transaction to be completed. And with that, we will call them within 24 hours to confirm that their transactions have been completed.
Great.
So what we know that due to COVID, several measures would have to be in place to ensure that customers, we deal with them as quickly as possible to get them out of the bank, because of the social distancing of 6 feet and the number of persons to be in the branch at one time. We have to ensure we have limited time.
So customers, 10 minutes if you go online first, fill in your information, upload, and then you're just coming in to pick up your debit card and sign. But again, if this is not your experience, please keep in touch with us and let us know. FGB at gkco.com, okay, or 1-888-CALL FGB. Okay, let's continue with the questions that we have. We have someone here who says, I'm temporarily living abroad. Do you facilitate loan instruments for persons like me? Could I use my home abroad as a second mortgage if necessary. Vinette or Arlene? Vinette?
I will take that one. We would use your home in Jamaica as security. And so that would now be a home equity loan. And this is something we can look at with you. We will ask for your credit report overseas. Again, it comes back to debt servicing, and we take into account not just the loans in Jamaica, but all your facilities, whether here or overseas. And it is a case-by-case assessment. And yes, the important thing is using that property in Jamaica as security.
Okay, so what we're saying is we do offer mortgages for persons who are living abroad.
Who are living and working abroad, but there has to be some connection
Back to Jamaica. So you're not a flight risk. Okay, got it. So diaspora, FGB gives mortgages to persons living abroad. Okay, I see a question coming in directly from social media live. The question here says, can I open an account for my child online? So just going back to the account opening, I want to take it because it's live, a live question.
No.
Arlene,
Well,
can I open an account for
account.
my child online?
Based on the age limit requirement for a child to be on an account alone, they have to be at least 18 years and above.
Okay.
What we encourage the parent to do is do the online opening, and when they're coming to retrieve their credit card, their debit cards at the branches, then they will bring in their information on the child, which is their birth certificate, and the funds to open their account and add the child to their account. But a parent or guardian would have to be on account with the child.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Arlene. And just when you mentioned the debit card, we did get a question about debit cards. I wanted to just ask it. Why can't I have a U.S. debit card?
Right.
Ricardo.
So, yes. So, traditionally, debit cards in Jamaica have been Jamaican dollars only. When you use that card online.
Oh, he has the card.
Yeah,
Show
the card's
card,
here,
Ricardo.
right? When you use the cards online, even if the store is US dollars,
Yes.
or if you're at an ABM and it pays US dollars, you can still use that card because we will just do the conversion for you.
Okay.
But we're hearing more and more customers asking about the ability to link it to a US dollar account in Jamaica. So as of right now, we don't have that feature, but
Right.
we're taking the feedback and we look at it as a product innovation
Yeah.
to see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, that's a higher priority item,
Yeah.
so that sounds good. Ricardo is like, thank you, customer, for asking that. Okay, all right, so moving on to this question around the unsecured. You know, in the times like this, the perception of banks is that if you don't have property or some kind of asset, we don't really lend to you, even though we are cash flow lenders. But worse when it's unsecured. So I have a question here from someone who says, what is the best way to pay off an unsecured loan? By the way, I love the fact that you're talking about paying off. But yeah, what's the best way to pay off an unsecured loan?
Right. We would ask that customer to lodge the funds to their account. They should understand the payout balance. So it would make sense that the customer make contact with the branch. Don't have to come in, you can call. There will be some verification questions for you to respond to make sure we're talking to the right person. We will indicate the payout balance at that point in time. The funds can be lodged to your account, and then we will do the set off and close. So you don't have to pay it off at one go.
We'll do the set off, Vinette.
We will transfer the funds from the savings or checking account, thank you, Mariame, and apply the proceeds to the principal balance. We will clear the interest first, and then we will apply. So it doesn't have to be at one shot, but the lump sum. So we do accommodate lump sum payments to the principal, and it works for the client because they actually pay less interest.
Good, very good. All right, so I have a kind of a related question, even though it comes from a different customer. Can FGB assist in helping a customer rebuild their credit score? Again, I love the tone and the direction and vision of the question. Rebuild the credit score. How can we as a bank help with that? Can we?
Thank you, Mariam. Yes, we can, and that's a very good question because especially in the COVID period, you really want to retain your credit rating. Remember, we have our credit bureau operating in the space, and so if arrangements are not made and if payments do not continue, this will affect your credit report. And so we can assist you in that process in consolidating your loans with FGB, and allow you to now resume normal regular payment. And by virtue of making your payments on time, you have immediately commenced the process of preparing your credit report.
And Mariam, if I
Yes,
could.
sure, Ricardo, go ahead.
One great way to do that, especially for young people just coming out of college, wanting to build that credit, a great way of doing that is to have a credit card and pay that balance monthly, right? And so what that's doing is that's demonstrating your ability to manage credit and to clear your obligations, which feeds into your credit report. So that's a great way to
Very good point. So get a credit card, pay it off every month. Pay it off every month? No, pay it off every month, and it demonstrates that discipline that lenders are looking for.
Right.
So you can use that and further facilities, secure further facilities. All right, there's a similar question. I still want to take it. We have a little time here. I'm interested in repositioning myself so as to be in a better financial position. Would you be willing to offer consolidation and refinancing at this time? Again, I really like the tone and the direction of and the positivity in these questions, and really demanding that banks step up and be held accountable and really partnering with the wider public. So Vinette, I'm interested in repositioning myself so as to be in a better financial position. Would you be willing to offer consolidation and refinancing at this time?
Mariam, thanks for calling me out. I was looking at Arlene to bail me out. But thank you very much. But yes, we can. It's a part of the process. It's a part of maintaining your credit report. It's a part of repositioning yourself. And I go back to the point of understanding your own financial goals and priorities. And we can work with you on that. You see, the part of consolidation, it helps with assessing and reducing your monthly payment, and that is such a crucial role. In fact, the consolidation can be used against your residential property, where we give you a home equity loan, give you an extended tenure, and so get your monthly payment in a smaller space, and also free you up to borrow additional funds for other projects or financial needs that you may have.
Okay.
And
Go ahead, Arlene. Yeah, man, definitely.
This is very useful for persons whose income was affected due to the pandemic, and therefore extension of the loan will give a lower monthly payment, making it more affordable. So it's something persons should really look into when they're reassessing their financial goals.
Excellent, thank you. And we have a related live question here. Can we get an interest rate reduction on an existing loan? I haven't heard that question before in a long time. No, just kidding. So Arlene, can we get an interest rate reduction on an existing loan? Arlene said, that's my question. I'm the moderator today. This is fun. So what say you guys, executive team of the bank?
We do look at it case by case, Mariam, and in the event that this is something that the customer will put the customer in a better position, is something we do look at.
Right. No, good. So, yes. No, that's right. And the truth is, there are many reasons why a facility may demand or request an interest rate reduction. And so we'll definitely look at it. Certainly if you have other offers on the table, that's certainly one way. If you've actually de-risked the facility to some extent, maybe you're building something and now it's built, we can look at it. So we're always open to discussing, and I think that is the one theme amongst a few that we'd love to leave with you today, which is that keep the dialogue open and going, because nothing is set in stone apart from some of our requirements, of course. But you can always discuss with us so we can figure out your situation and find the best financing structure to meet your need. Okay, let's continue with some of the questions here. I have a question that says, will the bank ever distribute Visa or MasterCard debit cards for business?
Okay, yes.
Ricardo.
Thank you. Another great idea that we got from the session. So right now, if you think about it, a business account typically has multiple persons that sign, right? And so if there's a debit card, then it's possible that a single person could be transacting. So we actually had a huddle, and we're going to take on this challenge. We're going to work on it as a team and see if there's a way that we could make it possible for a small business, maybe a sole proprietor or a partnership, to actually give us that authorization to make that possible.
Okay.
So we're going to look at this product. We think it's a great idea for small businesses that would want to be digital in their payments.
Okay, very good. Thanks for all these good ideas. I know the team thanks you too. Question here. We have a question about what information can you offer to someone looking to purchase a home. I think if you can purchase a home now, this is a great time to continue to invest in your future. Don't let COVID distract you where possible. And so this is a great question, and I'd love for us to talk about someone is looking to purchase a home. What information, Arlene, can we offer?
So when someone is looking to purchase a home, Mariam, this is a major investment. So what we encourage our customers to do is to come to us, provide their income information, let us know of their debt obligations, and what we'll do is give them what they can afford, tell them what they can afford. They can now go house hunting, right? We do have two types of mortgages currently. We have a joint finance mortgage with NHT, and we do have also our FGB finance mortgage. With the joint finance mortgage with NHT, you can access up to 90% financing on that mortgage. NHT will give you $6.5 million towards the mortgage. So for example, if the house is costing $10 million, the financing will be $9 million because it's 90% of the $10 million. You will need to find $1 million. NHT gives you $6.5 million, and the bank will give you the difference of 5.2, right? NHT 2.5, I'm sorry.
Just making sure you're keeping track.
Yes, 2.5 million, right? NHT interest rate currently is a tiered interest rate based on your income. We also have, on our portion, you'll get 6.95. It's a promotional rate, and this ends in December, so I'll encourage everyone to call out now who are busy purchasing their homes, right? For our mortgage, for FGB mortgages, you get up to 95% financing on that at the promotional rate of 6.95.
Thank you very much, Arlene.
And Mariam, we would
Yes,
want to add, depending on the age of the borrower,
Right.
the tenure is a maximum of 30 years.
Up to 30 years.
Up to 30
Fantastic.
years.
Okay, very good. 6.95%. Okay, we have a question here. How do I approach new business venture in the COVID era? Who would like to take that?
With every challenge, there is opportunity, and that has been a theme. We hear it on the news, we see it, in the space, and the persons are getting opportunity out of the COVID pandemic. It's not a space you look for opportunity, but there is the opportunity. And if our customers identify that opportunity and require financing, we are prepared to look at that with them, have it properly documented, the appropriate cash flow projections, the appropriate costing, and we will look at it with our customers.
Good, that's really good.
We don't want none of our customers to miss on any opportunity.
So anyone thinking of starting up a new venture, I completely agree with what Vinette is saying. I like to say the first thing you want to do is write your business plan, which can be 2 pages. It doesn't have to be a long document. And make sure you write it first, you being the person that's going to found and start up the business. A lot of people like to say they outsource their business plan to someone who's an expert in writing business plans, but I tell you, if you're starting your own business, you are the expert. Write it first, and then maybe you can have a second person, you can outsource the finalization of the business plan. But write your business plan first. And the biggest thing to think about is, what are your cash flows in? Just write up on a napkin, a piece of paper. What are the cash flows out? So do the cash flow first, and then flesh out the idea. Because you always have the idea, but I find people run way down the wicket with the idea, and then it's okay, so how are you going to make money? And then it takes, a lot of time to do that. So it's really important to do the cash flows, and then just as Vinette is saying, if you want financing, and we are open to looking at new businesses. So if you want financing, again, call us, talk to us, and we'll figure out where we need to advise, what needs to change, what information we need, etc. But I think this is a great time, especially if you see an opportunity, because what is happening in our environment is that we're going through significant change. But because we're in the actual environment, it's really hard for us to appreciate the gravity and the magnitude of the change. When we come out on the other side, we will be a different nation and globe. So for those of you who really have that vision, go for it. And we're here to support you, okay? We have a question around, but before I take that question, I just want to make sure we get through some of the final SME question. What is the benefit of having my business account with First Global versus competitors? It's a great question for SMEs. Who would like to take that question?
I think we can all add something there.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. We can all, and then Arlene, you want to start, and then?
So we do have several accounts that our SME customers can avail themselves of. I'm going to steal something from e-business, e-payment. And the best one that we have done so far for credit cards is our tax credit cards. We have been offering tax cards to our customers, our SMEs customers, to meet their tax obligations. We also have the interest-bearing checking account.
Right.
This is an account where the customers, even if once you are saving, you earn interest on your checking account. This is something that not most banks have been doing, and it is what we do. We also have the flexibility for customers. You can have an account where it's acting as a savings account, but you can have a checking option to it also. So we at First Global pride ourselves in ensuring that our products are very diverse, and we also have that to ensure that our customers, once we get the feedback on how we can make changes to our accounts to make it better for them, we do that.
Excellent. Thanks, Arlene. And then, you want to add?
Sure.
Yes,
And
Ricardo.
so, you're a small business, okay? And you have customers, and these customers now are saying to you, well, I don't want to come into your physical space. Well, FGB is able to help you to accomplish that. So imagine now your customer being able to pay you with a card, whether in store, online, or if you do deliver to them, when you get to their door, they make the payments with a card, okay? Every payment that's done goes straight into your bank account. From your bank account with your internet banking access, you can now pay your suppliers. You can pay your employees. You can use the tax card and pay the government, right? So you're doing more and more of your business operations digitally. And so instead of spending time going back and forth to the bank, you actually have that time to spend on developing your customer relationships and growing your business.
Good.
And
good.
Mariame,
Yes,
based on the
Vinette.
flows that pass through your account, and
Yes.
we encourage our customers to pass all their flows through their FGB account. Depending on those flows, we can also allow you an overdraft facility on that account.
Right.
Good.
So if you need a buffer at any time, that
Right.
overdraft will cushion you.
Okay, so it's interesting because that was really helpful, and I want to just re-emphasize some of these points. And the interest on the checking account is definitely something that is new and different. But the other thing that I don't think the team mentioned as much that I have to give them credit for is the idea that they come up with very specific types of products for SMEs. So the way in which we think we differentiate ourselves versus our competitors, my FGB hat back on, is that we come up with different products depending on what you need. So we have an Airbnb product, because that's a sector that has a specific set of needs. We get to know the sector, so we know how to structure something that works instead of asking for just assets as security. We have a BPO, a lot of BPO facilities, especially if you're small, you have to do a build out, right, of the facility, but you don't have a lot of assets to use as security. So we have a structure in place where we leverage our relationship with, say, DBJ, to offer a guarantee up to a certain amount. They have manufacturing, distribution. We're also the Chicken Farm Bank, which is a poultry loan. And so I think the credit to the team about working with customers and understanding their needs at the subsector level so that the product is in place so approval goes more quickly as opposed to, say, just come talk to us and we'll try to figure out the SME product. I think that really is one of the things that also differentiates us, and kudos to the team on this. Okay, so I question here, I want to get this question in until our screen comes back up. What affordable options, Ricardo, do you have for small businesses to accept e-payments? And I think this is just off of what you were saying, this seems to be a big pain point or issue that people want to know more about. So can you share?
Okay, so if you are a small business and you want to accept payments online, what we would encourage you to do is take one of two options that we currently offer. You could either have a full integration into your website where you need a development team to help you to make it happen, or you could take what we call a hosted link. So with a hosted link, you add our payment integration onto your website. It's a simple change that's done on your website. And now what happens is when somebody comes to your website and looks to make a payment, and they click on the checkout for the goods, it brings up a page that we provide. So it means that you don't have to spend a lot of time and effort to build that integration. So it's a low-cost entry for small businesses.
So when the customer enters their information, say on the hosted link for this SME, then what kind of security,
Okay.
features? Because, it feels weird if you're SME taking payments from customers and you hear about a hosted link.
Right.
Give us more comfort around
Fantastic. So, FGB has taken care of the security on that payment platform for you. So we use all the advanced capabilities. I can tell you about SSL and I can tell you about 3D Secure. It's all built into that platform. And when it comes up, what you have the ability to do is have that page be branded with your brand
Yes.
elements along with FGB brand elements, right? So we're taking care of all of the security. The person does the payment on there. You get a confirmation back that the payment has been done. Money's posted into your account. You deliver the goods or services, nice and easy.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, thanks, Ricardo.
Sure.
We do have a couple questions here, so I'm just going to jump to them, just switching gears a little bit. I love this one. Thank you for asking. What plans are in place to improve customer service? And I just want to share that one of our visions as a bank, our vision actually going into this next phase of our evolution is really around being a leading digital led bank focused on providing top class customer experience. So this idea about improving customer service, while we know we have to do it across the sector and certainly within our own organization, it is front and center for us. So what plans are in place to improve customer service? Arlene, you want to start with this?
Well, first, let me sincerely apologize for any breakdown in service delivery or interaction customers might have had. What we have been doing with our team members, given that we had the COVID pandemic protocols, we saw less amount of team members being able to be in the branch due to the social distancing. However, as I mentioned earlier on, Mariam, we have implemented several measures to ensure customers spend as less time as possible in the branches. What we have done also is reach out to customers who have been coming in the branch to do transactions that can be done online on the global access line that Ricardo has just mentioned, and guide them through to ensure that they can now process these transactions at their convenience at home, right? So we want to ensure continue to work closely with customers. We are very accessible, and our team members are well understanding of this. With the drop boxes, once you drop your transaction, should you come in the branch and cannot wait, you are to get a call within 24 hours to confirm your transactions have been completed.
Excellent. And what
Right.
about when they call into the customer service center? Some people say, I have to wait. Do I have to wait?
Right. So we will continue to monitor that, Mariam, and add where necessary individuals to ensure that the wait time too is lessened for our customers.
Okay, and the callback feature?
The callback, they are to call back customers within 25 minutes after they receive the messages, as best as possible to ensure that our customers are not affected.
Okay.
So we have been doing good on that, but there's always room for improvement. So as we go along, we do appreciate all the feedbacks, and we have been working closely to see as best as possible that even though we have less persons working from home in the bank, they are not negatively impacted.
With the experience, that's good.
Right.
Yeah, and we do have KPIs on this point so that we continue to manage ourselves as an organization and as a family. So we are always, this is front and center. So thanks for asking, and hopefully we'll continue to improve and just raise the bar as a bank and as a sector. We do have a question here about global access. Global access does not update on a timely manner. What plans are in place to address this? Assuming that's a one-off, but thank you for that question. Ricardo.
Yes, so as we sit here and speak,
the
team that's working on the upgrade of the new platform is actually focusing a lot of their efforts on the performance and the scale to ensure that the platform responds quickly to customer needs. So again, we encourage you to just stay close to us on social media, check your emails, because we're going to keep you updated on the date of launch as we feel that it is ready for you.
Good, thank you. Somebody has asked, when will Saturday banking service resume? It's resumed. No.
Easy one.
Do you want to take that already?
Well, we resumed our Saturday banking on September 8th, Mariam. and you know the branches that offer this Saturday banking are Manor Park, Ligony, and Portmore. The hours are 10 to 2.
Yes.
We also have our video teller machines that are open at those times too for customers to use as to carry their banking needs.
Okay. So the video teller machine is what?
Okay. The video teller machine is we are the only bank in Jamaica that offers the video teller machine. Well, in the Caribbean, I can say.
Yes.
And with that machine, it has a live person there communicating with you.
Mm-hmm.
It offers up to, I would say, 90% of the transactions that can be
Yes.
done in the branch can be done at the video teller machine. So you interact with a teller who will guide you and assist you. You can either use a mic, you can type. It is such a user-friendly machine.
Yes.
It is something that, and we go until 4 o'clock. Currently on the video teller machine, our normal hours was until 7 during weekdays.
Yes.
However, due to the pandemic and the government measures that are in place,
Disaster risk management protocols. Yeah.
we had to reduce it to 4 o'clock.
Okay, and just in keeping with this theme about the Saturday banking though, I mean, I know banking hours are somewhat reduced because we're trying to ensure that we continue to manage through COVID as well. But the question around we seem to have unusual hours well, I shouldn't say unusual, to make banking more convenient for our customers. So do you want to talk about during the week as well at some of our locations?
Okay, so our normal opening hours now, and again, the pandemic has made several changes. We normally, for Manor Park and Ligony and Portmore, these branches would have been open until 6 and 7 in the night.
Right.
Unfortunately, due to COVID,
Yes.
we have to reduce those hours. So we currently go from 9 to 3,
Okay.
from Mondays to Thursdays, and 9 to 4 on Fridays.
Okay. Now, thank you very much for that, Arlene. I see a couple comments. Well, they're telling me I can't actually see what you guys are all seeing, but I hear we have a couple comments about our callback system not working. So I just want to acknowledge that you've shared this feedback with us. Thank you very much for that feedback. We will jump right on it to see how we can improve. But, the vision and what I know we had in place before, and, things sometimes don't work in a moment, but we will make sure to look at this, is when you call up customer service anywhere, including at FGB, what we want is that you can have the option of saying, you know what, your wait time is X minutes, let's say it's 20 minutes, maybe, and you have the option of just leaving a voicemail and we call you right back, right? So within this 25-minute SLA.
Right.
So the fact that it's not working, I just want to apologize to all the customers where this has been the case. I know it's very frustrating now because it's not like you can just jump up and come into the branch. So I'm really sorry about that, and we will take it as a team and look at that and just make sure that callback system is working all the time, because that is one of the best features, I believe, for our customer service as we continue to have more volume, because we're working more remotely. So it's very helpful. Someone here has a question around, I like these aspirational questions, they're really helpful and it's good for the environment and the karma, certainly in this room, but also in the country. How do you reimagine, reposition, and rebuild your financial goal or plan? So essentially a financial planning question. So Vinette, what are your thoughts on that?
And we at First Global, we will, again, it comes back to your financial goal, and as the pandemic unfolds and some of us may have to reposition and realign what our dreams are, adjust our timelines in adjusting certain goals. And so we will partner with you on it if you need financing, but we will also refer you to our sister company, GK Capital Market, GKCM, who will assist you with, those investing opportunities, whether you want to invest on the stock market, if you want to invest in bonds, on the different stock exchanges, in the Caribbean, around the world. So our sister company will assist you with that, and we can direct you in that department. But we will definitely start the conversation with you.
Thank you, Vinette. So again, you can reach out to us, but in terms of building your financial goals, which is savings and investing, savings with the bank, but more longer term and really building wealth is investing. And as Vinette mentioned, we have our sister company, GK Capital. And just again, to give you the information how to get in touch with us there, gkcapital@gkco.com. Again, it's just email us, gkcapital@gkco.com. And our number to reach us, 876, of course, 932-3290. 876-932-3290. and someone will get back to you. One of the things that we pride ourselves of being in the Grace Kennedy Group, and certainly within the Grace Kennedy Financial Group, and certainly at FGB and GK Capital and so on, is just our ability to respond, how approachable and available we are, and our ability to respond and really explain and have dialogue and listen to what you're telling us and what needs you have, etc. So please, 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 there's nothing you take away today. It should be that we are open and waiting and looking forward to continue to dialogue with you. All right? Okay, great. We have a few more minutes, so I really want to try and get as many questions in. There's a question here about, here it is. Is it possible to attain loans for a home or business for a low-budget income worker in this time, where the economy and the world at large is battling with COVID-19 crisis? And I'd really love to look at this, because financial inclusion, and I don't know how you define low income, high income, but the point is we're a bank for everyone. So I think this question is a very relevant. Thank you for asking that question. And, you know, who would like to take it?
I will take that, Mariame. And the truth is that we lend based on our customers' income, based on their cash flow, based on their revenue less expenses. And so whether it's low income or high income, we do that assessment with you, and the opportunity is there. If it's a viable project, we see the capacity for that project to repay the loan and still allow you to retain profits. This is something we will look at. And again, if the opportunity is a viable one during this pandemic.
And to also encourage the customers, pass your funds through your account.
Yes.
That is the best strength of any customer. Whenever whatever you earn, no matter which field you're in, even if you're a micro operator, a taxi, a hairdresser, whatever business you're in, ensure that you pass your funds through your account.
And apparently,
our merchant acquiring or point of sale facility allows you to do that, because you don't collect the cash yourself. You just have your purchasers swipe
directly, and that is a very secure way of doing business.
And you earn interest on your checking account.
Yes.
Can you imagine interest on your checking
And
account?
you build up your credit worthiness for lending opportunities.
Fantastic. Okay, very good. And just staying on that theme, I know as a sector, and I'm really happy about this, that we have put in place, thanks to the government, the Bank of Jamaica, and the amendments to what we call the Proceeds of Crime Act, POCA. We put in place simplified due diligence across the country. What that means is that you can open a bank account with less of those account opening requirements, but it's just that your account, which is deemed a lower risk account, we would have to put certain restrictions on what you can do. So kind of a basic bank account. We're very proud of FGB to have supported the CARE program, the government's CARE program, earlier in the year, where we signed up over 7,500 persons came into the formal financial sector because they got a bank account from First Global Bank, which is great. And I know others in the sector are also pushing on this. So we really welcome everyone to continue to come along when it comes to financial inclusion. So thank you very much for that. And we do have our own product as well outside of CARE. I wanted to get this question in because I know we have about 7 minutes to go. This question says, what strategy do we have afoot to transform those traditional customers who resist using technology?
Wow. Okay.
All right,
so,
Ricardo.
You know, whenever I hear a question like this, I actually think about my mom. Okay?
Yes.
And I'm proud to say that my mom right now has her debit card, and she will take that debit card to the supermarket to buy her groceries. But she is concerned that maybe it doesn't work every time. And so she will still carry her cash with her, right? And so we think that this is how, for persons who maybe are a little afraid of the technology and using it, and if it will work when they need it, do what you're comfortable with, and also start putting your feet in a little at a time with the new way of doing it. Because over time, they will get that comfort with doing those things. And then the video teller machine that Arlene spoke about is actually a great introduction for persons, because yes, you're now interacting with a machine, but there's someone on the other side to help you. So we think that just really helping persons to just give it a try, and over time, they'll get more and more comfortable with doing it, and we'll continue to support them.
Okay, good. All right. Let me go back to this idea around the simplified due diligence for a second, since someone asked the question and it relates to SMEs. And so the question here is, could the requirements for could the requirements for opening a small business account be lessened? The requirements are limiting to access banking services.
Right.
So this is around SME account opening, and do we have simplified account opening for SMEs?
Well, Mariam, you mentioned that we have done it for personal. So what we have done, we will be looking at the business side. However, if you're in the micro and small business space, when you're opening an account with us, we ask for your ID, whichever license you have for your business. If you're a hairdresser, you're licensed to do so, we'll take that. And we also just do a simple form filling, like a cash flow, for you to give us an understanding of how much do you think that will pass through the account. So even though we ask for those things, what we have done is simplified the process to make it easier for someone coming in and not worry that, oh, I have to go to an accountant, I have to go and get this, a TCC. Sometimes we do even ask for, if it is a sole operator, you don't need a TCC to be onboarded
Right.
to open an account. So we
Thank
make
you.
the process much simpler.
Okay. Thanks very much, Arlene. So these account opening requirements that we have, which are regulatory in nature, is really to ensure that financial institutions, including ourselves as a bank, that we understand the customers that we do business with. So every bank is going to make sure that I understand Vinette, who's my customer, because when she opened their account, I asked for a few of these specific items. And then Vinette is going to do transactions, and the bank also has to understand the transactions. So those are the two big things that banks have to do, and you may see that they ask you questions as a customer. And one of the things that we've done at FGB is what we call compliance with a smile, which means that when we ask you for things, we really have to do it in a way that doesn't sound like, we're checking off we're doing a checklist and we're just asking for this information, but just to make it much more clear about why, and just to not make it so onerous. So thank you for partnering with us on this and being patient with us. It's really a requirement of strengthening the sector always in our country, and so that's why you'll see banks and other financial institutions asking for this. Why does the Ligony branch ATM not accept checks outside of banking hours? This is one, and then we're going to have to wrap up, unfortunately, after this question, but who would like to take that question? Since it was live, I wanted to make sure to get it in. Why does the Ligony branch ATM not accept checks outside of banking hours? So
our video teller machine, if it is closed, unfortunately, we won't be able to accept checks, but our deposit-taking ATMs do accept cash.
Okay. And
So
hours
hours are currently 9 to 3.
Okay.
And for on Saturdays 10 to 2.
Okay, excellent. Any final comments before we wrap up?
Keep in touch.
Yes.
Let us know what's happening. Your credit report is important. Your credit rating with us as a bank is important. Protect it, guard it.
Great. Thanks, Vinette.
We welcome your feedback, and we will definitely make any adjustment required for once your feedback is something we think that will make an impact on our business for your customer service, to enhance our customer service.
Great, good. Thank you, Arlene. Ricardo?
So I think I just want to share something that we're giving back at the moment. So for all of our credit card holders, right now, every transaction that you do gives you a chance to win some prizes from us. We think that it is a great time to help persons with back to school for kids. So there are prizes for laptops, tablets, etc. Right?
Okay.
So all you really have to do is spend with your credit card. If you don't have one, you can also sign up for one with us. And we think that it's important to actually give back to our customers, and this was the way that we chose to do it at this time.
Thank you very much, guys. So I hope maybe it will cut me off right at 2 o'clock, hopefully not. But I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Who you would have heard from today, who are some of the executives at First Global Bank. We're really here representing the First Global Bank family. It's our mission to empower you to get ahead in life and business. That's our mission statement. We talk about it internally as a bank. And you would have heard a number of the products, the features, and the activities that we're doing to support our customers as we go through this this COVID period and we come out on the other side as a resilient people. And if it's one thing I would say, just reiterating what my colleagues here have said, is please keep in touch with us, right? Please ensure that you are holding banks accountable to really responding to you and explaining where we can or cannot do something. Email address, please email us, fgb@gkco.com. We will get back to you. And please call us, 1-888-CALL-FGB. Please stay safe, physically distance, wear your masks, please. We will continue to fight and get through this pandemic. Thank you very much. Are we still on?